Right, in this video I'm going to go through creating sort of patterns, mandalas and repetitions. One of the students asked me a short while ago, how can I create some sort of repetition, sort of like a mandala, not quite a kaleidoscope, but patterns and mirrored. Now, we're going to go through some basic stuff and then I'll get progressively more complicated. So the simplest thing, if I just use the pen tool and create something like that, and then I can obviously just copy it, Alt drag, Command or Control D, etc., etc. So I can get repetitions like that. And this is very basic and straightforward. I can also, if I wanted to, let's go to the pen tool, I can add anchor points and play around with them. And of course, then I can do the same thing. Alt drag, Command D, Control D, etc., etc. So you can see now I'm getting sort of different shapes. Here I'm getting sort of a perspective shift, sort of like the side of a building, something like that. But this is not quite what we're after. We want something a little bit more complicated. So what we could do is, again, let's go to the pen tool, create a line, and I'll do this twice. They don't have to be the same, but it doesn't matter. And then what I can do, I'll select them both and I can use the blend tool. The blend tool is very useful and it's over here on the left hand side. Here's the blend tool. By the way, your Illustrator may not be set up like mine, and you certainly haven't got all the plugins I've got. So don't worry about all of these, but the tool is the same. This is the blend tool. Click on that and I'll go from top to top and I get something like that. I can change the number of repetitions. I can double click on the blend tool. Here you go. Change it to specified steps, and I can click on the up arrow or down arrow, you see, and I can change it. Thank you very much. And I'll do OK. Now, the thing about using the blend tool is this is an automatic repetition and I can change it. This is like a special group and I can change it. So let's go to the pen tool and I will add on this path here an anchor point and on this path. Now, look at my cursor. It's a star. It's not selected. So I need to go back to the white arrow tool, click on it, then click on the pen tool. See, now I've got a plus. Click on that. There you go. Now I can go back to the white arrow tool and I can edit. And you see it updates. The two shapes at the beginning, at the end, are still editable. But not only that, still not giving me what I want. But if I undo back to where I did the blend tool, I can go back to the blend tool. And instead of going from top to bottom, top to top, so the top of that line to top of that line, I'll go from top to bottom. And now I get something like this. And it looks a bit weird, but let's double click on the blend tool, specified steps, and increase it. And what I get is a switch. As you can see here, in effect, it's crossing over. And now I've got like a bow tie, something like that, or maybe wings of an insect or something like that. Let me show you another example. So let's move that out of the way. Come on. And let's work on something with a curve. So I'll create something like an S curve like that. By the way, I'm deliberately setting my fill to no fill, transparent. You can see it there and you can see it here in the color. Otherwise, when they overlap, it would cause problems. The fill would obscure things. And here now I've got two S curves. There you go, see, something like that. Let's select them both, and W key is the shortcut for the blend tool. And let's go from top to top. Double click on the blend tool, change it to specified steps and increase it. And now we're getting something more sort of what we want. Not quite a mandala yet, but you see we're getting sort of a nice sort of repetition, a lot of sort of strokes, which would be a real pain to create manually. Let's cancel that. I'll undo. And let's go from opposite. So top of one to bottom of the other. And double click on the blend tool. And let's go to specified steps. And now you see, now we're getting something that's really actually quite nice. So we're getting more of a pattern, a grid pattern, and we're sort of slowly getting into what we want, and I'll do okay. Don't forget, let's go to the black arrow tool. Don't forget the two shapes. If I go to the white arrow tool, the direct selection tool, don't forget the two shapes are still editable, and the blend will update itself, you see, and I can edit it to produce what I want. And I can change the stroke, I can change the opacity, I can change the color. So all of this can be changed. So we're still not quite not there. So what else can we do? Well, it's just a matter of choosing shapes to get patterns and things like that. So let's try something else. So I'm going to create a lens shape. Now, a lens shape is fairly straightforward, but a bit difficult to manually create. And this is the lens shape where these two circles meet or overlap. So I'll select them both, and I'm in the Pathfinder. Here's my Pathfinder. You can see it under the window menu, Window, Pathfinder. And what I want is where they overlap. So that's this one here, the intersect. So third button from the left, top row, click. And there you go. There's my lens shape, or an eye, or whatever you want to do. So what can we do with this? So press R for rotate. Now it's a bit difficult to see, but in the middle, there's a little bright blue, a cyan target. That's the rotate. That's the position around which I rotate. Okay, so I'll undo that. I'm going to click and drag. Don't let go of the mouse. Hold down Alt or Option, and as you can see, I get a copy. Let go of the mouse, then let go of the keyboard. Don't be quick. Don't try and do both at once. Then do Command or Control D, hold down Command or Control, and do D, 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 D. And now we're starting to get something more like a mandala. I can use any shape I like. So if I want, let's go to the rectangle tool. So I can do the same here. And R to rotate, and the rotate tool is over here. You can see there it is. And I can double click on this and I can type in a number. I'm doing it manually, but there's a copy. So let's say, for example, let's say 5 degrees. I'm going to tab out, not press return. I don't want to click on the OK button. I'm going to tab out to activate it so I can see the amount it's changed. But I'll click on copy. And then I'll do Command or Control, just hold it down, and D, 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 D. And here we go. Now we're getting more of a mandala pattern. Boom. Now, in this particular case, I chose 5 degrees. A degree is 360, and 5 goes into 360 perfectly. If you do it manually, you won't get it perfect. You can see on the left here with my lens shape. But actually, in my case, it's worked out reasonably well. But if you want to be precise, you'll need to double click on whichever tool you're playing around with to type numbers. So we've got something reasonable, but it's not quite the same thing. Let me show you something else, because Illustrator doesn't really do this, but I want another artboard. So I've just zoomed out, and I want to now go to the artboard tool, which is, let's see if I can find it. I've got so many tools now. Here we go. It looks like a little landscape page. Click on that. See, it's highlighted. Alt or Option, click and drag it to the right, and it duplicates the page. Hold down spacebar, click and drag with the mouse. There we go. And let's go back to the black arrow tool. I'm going to delete all these. I don't need these. I'm going to zoom in, or I can do Command or Control 0. Command or Control 0 fits the page to the window. Now, to do a better mandala type, I mean, the previous one worked. It was just a bit manual, but you know, I'm sort of getting there. I can play around with things and I can add other shapes and so on and so forth. But there is a free tool. Here it is. This is a free tool from Astute Graphics. You can go Googling this. So Astute Graphics is the company. And they do a whole load of plugins, and that's what all these new ones are that you see here on my screen. There's about 20 or 30 of them. Mirror Me is free. I would recommend, if you do a lot of Illustrator work, buying this. It's about, last time I looked, it's about £129 per year, every year. But it is worth it if you do a lot of Illustrator work. And let me show you how this works. I just click on the little butterfly here, boom. And here now, you can see I'm getting patterns. In fact, let's go to another tool and let's click, make sure nothing is selected. There you go. So click on here we go, here we go. So here's the Mirror Me tool, and I can click and drag. You can see I can rotate around. Works out quite nicely. And I'm using the up and down arrow key to change the number here, you see. Let go. I'll apply to layer persistent, and can you see what it's done? Because I had my text selected. So let's go back and let's undo that. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it from scratch, but okay. Let's do it with a simple circle then. And D for default. I don't mind with a white stroke. Click on the butterfly. And now, if you look, as I move up, can you see how it plays around? I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to just keep it just a little bit there, and I will apply to layer persistent, you see. So it's taken the circle and merged them to create this sort of effect. But this is still up. The lines are still up. So I'm going to press B for brush, and I'm going to start drawing something. See, it's not bring it in. There you go. I was a bit too far out. Let's try like that. No. There you go. Let's bring it in. There you go. Let's try another shape. Let's see what we get. There you go. In fact, shapes tend to work a bit better, it looks like. Let's do a star. And this gives me the mandala effect. And it depends as well where they overlap. You see, I'm just doing it as an overlap. So that's basically how you can play around and create a mandala. You don't need to use this, but Mirror Me is free. It's from astutegraphics.com. And there's a load of options here, which I'm not going to go through. I'll do that in another video. But if you don't want to use that, you can just do it manually using the rotate tool. Oh, I've deleted that by mistake. So you can play around. Let's undo. Let's see if it'll go back. Let's dismiss this. I'm not doing live shapes. There you go. So if you want to, you can just use the rotate tool, and with Alt or Option drag to make a copy, or double click on the rotate tool and then Command D, etc., etc. So this is a quick way of creating patterns and sort of geometric repetitions.